Welcome to the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together. Baseball family, welcome to this episode of the Baseball Together podcast. I'm Brig. I got Mr. Brad here with me. How are you, Mr. Brad?
I'm good. I'm excited, really excited to get into this. It is an interesting weekend of baseball.
Yeah.
So,
I think there's definitely a lot that has happened.
Yes, indeed. How are you, Mr. Brig?
I'm good. I got sunburned yesterday, which is cool. It's officially that time of year, and I did not realize that it would be a UV index of 7 million. So,
So my wife was at a thing on Saturday, and so I was with the kids, took them to the park, and she's like, sunscreen, make sure you sunscreen before you go, because like you said, UV index 7 million. And so we're walking out the door, I'm like, oh shoot. I had no idea where it was though. No clue. Could not find it. And I was like, hopefully we won't be there too long. Fortunately, my daughter found the shade and just camped out because it was hot. So
nice.
Didn't get sunburned. Didn't have to spend too much time in the sun. It was great. So, but it's good. It's nice to get out and. Oh, and by the way, we went to the park again, and I was working with my son. He wants to be a catcher. So working with him, I was like, hey, let's see how you do coming out of a crouch, secondary crouch, and throwing to second. I didn't expect anything, to be honest with you.
Of course.
But he was dropping dimes.
Seriously?
I was incredibly impressed. Yeah.
Whoa.
Like, whoa, okay. All right. Okay. Like I started close, like relatively close, like maybe halfway between the mound and second base for his field size. I was like, I'm going to move back. Let's see how you do. And he adjusted, and I couldn't believe it.
Damn.
It was unreal. Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that.
I was thrilled, Brig. Absolutely thrilled.
Yeah. I'll just bet you were. Well, baseball family, a couple of pieces of housekeeping before we jump into the topics we're going to discuss today. First is Happy Jackie Robinson Day. April 15th every year we celebrate Jackie Robinson Day. 1947, on this day in 1947, Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier when he got into Major League Baseball. Every player in today's games will be wearing the number 42 in commemoration of and honor of Jackie Robinson. So I've got my Jackie Robinson jersey on right now. I'm loving it. Very excited. That's the first thing. So hopefully we're all celebrating Jackie Robinson Day. Number 2, housekeeping. Don't forget that one of the best ways to support the show, as well as yourself, is to run over to Chinook Seedery and grab yourself some seeds, because we are full-blown into sunflower seed season. At my house it is anyway. I've got kids coming over, and they're like, ooh, can I have some of the barbecue? That's my favorite. Or they'll say, ooh, I haven't tried that one yet. Can I try it? And I'm like, it's Hatch chili. You better be careful. And, of course, none of them know about my Parm and Pep, because it's mine.
You keep it hidden.
I hoard it jealously, so I don't have to share. I don't plan to share. Get off my lawn. Okay, go over to ChinookSeedery.com. Use code BTPod at checkout for 10% off your order. Supports us, supports Chinook. They are great people over there doing excellent work, and it supports you as well. You get 10% off. They're the best seeds ever. ChinookSeedery.com, code BTPod, and get you 10% off. All right, here we go. As Brad said, there has been a lot that has happened, and it is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But we're going to begin by getting into the Giants, who have revealed their City Connect uniform for this season. Per ESPN, which is per MLB, which is per the San Francisco Giants, quoting the quoted who quoted the quoter, we have the following description. They teamed up with Bay Area musical artists for their latest uniform tribute. Okay? And this tribute is a nod to the music scene within San Francisco. Psychedelic posters inspired the Giants script across the chest, which if you've seen looks kind of like a bubble letter. situation. It looks like graffiti, but it's much puffier, I would say, than some of the graffiti you might be used to. It has fewer harsh lines and real bold
It depends
edges.
on your style. I'd call that graffiti. It just depends on your style.
Yeah, but don't you think it's a little bulbous or rounded or...
I mean, it's like I said, it depends on your style. I live by the train tracks, Brig. I see all kinds of graffiti all the time. Yeah. So I think graffiti is fitting. Absolutely.
I agree. Well, and it does look like it came straight out of a spray can with all those rounded edges, which is what I'm saying. So here we go. We've got that chess script. It's supposed to flow like the sound, similar to a lava lamp in motion. White lettering shaded with orange and purple, the latter of which is a nod to the Fillmore stage lights and the Haight-Ashbury posters. Fillmore is where the San Francisco music scene basically starts and stops, right? That is the pinnacle of San Francisco music as in terms of venue. Here's a quote. They say, when they were known as the New York Giants before moving to San Francisco, the team wore violet from 1913 to 1917 in honor of New York University. That shade returns to link the club's roots to the San Francisco spirit of rebellion. Did you know, Brad, that the Giants at any point wore the color purple?
No, because I've only seen black and white photos.
You shut up, me too.
Yeah, that's why. No idea. That's really cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really neat. I like that a lot. Further quoting, the outfield glove, which appears on the jersey's, what I believe, left sleeve, right? I guess it is going to depend on where the sponsorship logo goes. But on the sleeve, there's a glove, and it is a reimagining of the 1960s concert poster. San Francisco mark is included above the jersey jock tag. The uniform's cap blends San Francisco logo with tie-dye tones and an orange and violet gradient, and a similar color gradient appears at the end of the jersey. A neat detail of the design are 9 music genre tiles scattered throughout the socks. It's on the socks, the brim, and the jersey below the tuck line, and those represent hip-hop, blues, hyphy? Well, I don't know what that is. Rock, hyphy. Country, electric, pop, Latin, and jazz music. What is hyphy?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but I know that's what it is.
Well, awesome.
It says it's a style of up-tempo hip-hop music originating in Northern California associated with a frenetic style of dancing.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. So if you're into that, it's really cool.
If you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah. I guess, we've described it to death, and in their debut, they lost wearing them. So, Brad, I guess I just want to know what you think. What do you think? How do you feel?
I like it. I think it looks really cool. It does definitely have a Grateful Dead vibe to it, I feel like. That patch on the sleeve, my first thought was fish, which, they're not from the West Coast, so that's not really that fitting, but that was kind of the vibe I got, and I think that it's supposed to be because it's the same kind of genre, right? I really like the graffiti look. I think it's really cool. The black is awesome with kind of that feathering, I guess, across down the front. The hat is nice. I like that they went away, because one of my complaints with the other was that all they did was make an alternate jersey, right? Like, they didn't do a whole lot special with it. They added the bridge to the hat. They added the bridge to the side. They made it foggy, which means that there's like a white gradient against orange, or a white gradient against a white background, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is more vibrant. I like what they've done with the colors. I like what they've done with the different logo. And the Giants, like, that gets me. That's so cool, because I love graffiti art, like street art. I love it. Huge fan. So I think it's cool. I think it's great. And they, guess what, Brig? White pants.
Yeah, white pants. Yep. I think the white pants are the way to go. Now, what's subtle, and in many of the photos you might not see this, and this honestly changed my opinion, is there's a subtle pinstripe running across the black jersey
That's
body.
that feathering that I was talking about. To me, it reminds you of the feathers on the Oregon Ducks football uniforms. I like that a lot.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they look like vinyl grooves, and I think that's the idea.
Oh, yeah?
I think the gradient from purple to orange is super cool. If it weren't for the pinstriped vinyl grooving, whatever, how do I say this? That detail increased this uniform's value for me by at least 15%. Like, it was a little too bland for me, a little too, like, I don't know. Not thoughtless, because it's very carefully done. But it just felt a little like, like they were missing something, right? Which I will admit I did not notice this finer detail on the pinstripes until way, way after I'd seen it originally. I had to really examine when I was deciding.
A lot of the
how
original pictures make it just look black.
Right, and I think it's really important to look closely at that. So if I were going to buy one of these and wear it on the street, if it were straight black, I would never buy it, ever. But because it's got that groove, that pinstripe in it, okay, then now there's a better chance of me picking up a jersey. The other thing is on the gradient elements, especially around the sleeve. It's got kind of a metallic satin sheen to it. And so it's not flat. And I like that. I think that's another big deal design choice. For me, if I'm going to grade these on a scale, I'm probably giving these like 5+, 5.5
out of 10.
Out of 10, yeah.
Okay.
I could go 7.5. I could settle into 7.5
because if I'm collecting, like if I wanted to go buy a jersey from every team, this is the one I would buy from the Giants. I love it. I think it looks awesome.
Hey, that's a great way to grade it. If you were going to buy any of the Giants uniforms, is this the one you would buy?
I guess that's the way we do it now.
I guess we do it now.
Should we move on
to the Rockies? The answer is no. For me, the answer is no.
Okay.
I would not buy this one. Okay, yeah, let's move on to the Rockies, because the Rockies released theirs, and this is really interesting. Boy, is this interesting. Okay, so it's one of the things that has gone way underplayed is that the team, the Rockies, they have a team photographer. Every team has a photographer. This team's photographer, his name is Kyle Cooper, and he has a series of photographs called Baseball Sky. And if you've ever been to Coors Field...
How could you not in Denver?
I know. If you haven't been to Coors Field, get your butt over to Coors Field and make sure there's a sunset opportunity. And if you have to delay your trip by a couple of days just to make sure you get a sunset, when they are going to have a homestand of at least 3 or 6 games, just in case. Just in case you're like, I haven't seen the sunset yet.
Make sure there's a night game. That's what it comes down to.
What?
Just a night game. Just a night game.
Yeah, but there's not always this brilliant cloud cover that you need to really get the full experience.
You're right.
Anyway, but out over the left field wall, like way past the giant scoreboard, it's magnificent. I love sitting at first base anyway. I'm a first base guy. But at Coors Field, it is the only way to go. So anyway, Kyle Cooper has this series of photographs that really do capture the essence of what these uniforms are trying to portray. So they sent these uniforms to Nike specifically as a jumping off point. And we've got now these uniforms that have an iconic mountain logo, right? We've got the logo. And that's all across the front. And then the uniform is split in half. In the top half is a cobalt blue and the bottom half is purple. White pants, great choice, right? There's a bold stripe down the side. It complements the entire look. They're calling the other colors Razor Pink and Laser Orange. Those are the names they've given.
Razor, Laser, Blazer, and Phaser.
Yeah. Yeah, nailed it. The jock tag has the abbreviation DEN for Denver, and the hat is lined with Denver's city flag. And it's the first time the Rockies have worn the mountain logo on the field during games, by the way. They've never done that. Did you know that?
No, but it makes sense because I was like, well, wait a minute, but no, that's a spring training hat that they
Yeah.
had that with. But yeah,
Or a
no, it
BP,
makes sense.
you know?
Yeah, yeah, not during games
So I
ever.
thought that was really a smart move to put the mountain on the cap for a
Because
field
real quick, that's their best logo
every day.
out of all of them. That's the best one, and I have never understood why they haven't used it more because it's outstanding.
Yep, it's every day better.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on. We've got obviously they've got different versions for different situations, but this is the first time Colorado will, or anybody is doing a City Connect without any buttons. This is a pullover. And when their chief marketing guy over merchandise and sales, or whatever his name is, came out and was interviewed a bunch of times, he said, look, all of our guys grew up playing Little League, and Little League uniforms are very often pullovers. And if you look all the way back into the 90s, especially T-shirt and pullover style rec league and Little League uniforms, he said so that they decided to do that deliberately and for that reason, which I think is really neat.
Really cool.
I like the pullover.
I like that.
Yeah. I'm not sure I'm crazy about the way that V is stitched, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it looks on the field, which they debut April 18th against the Nationals, and then they're going to wear them every Friday for the remainder of the season. Brad, what do you think?
I like it. I like the way it looks. I like the colors. It's way better than their other one. Infinitely better than the green one, especially since they're going with the white pants. Like if they had gone with purple pants to match the bottom half of the jersey, I'd have been out. Like no way.
Yeah.
But they went with white, and that thick stripe down the side this thick piping is great. It's a nice touch. However, I will say this, because it's a pullover and because of the loud colors, it feels like, again, a Saturday softball jersey. I would almost say even more so than the green and white mountain one, because it's a pullover.
Interesting. Interesting. See, to me, this feels,
like I said, I like it. It looks really good.
Yeah, no, it's nifty. The word I'm going to use is it's nifty.
That's a good word. Nifty.
And yeah, okay, once a week, whatever. Okay, run it out there once a week, but let's definitely not move this direction more than once a week. You know, that's how I feel. Because to me, this looks like an NBA uniform. This looks like one of the gazillions of NBA uniforms that get rolled out, and then they replace them, and then they roll out a new one, and then they replace them. And it's like, come on, man. Pick a freaking lane. And they're selling merch. I get it. And it's working. And I get it. That's fine. But I will say that of all the Rockies caps, though, this is the one I would buy. If that's the scale. Then this baby blue cap, or whatever they're calling it, with the mountain logo and those bright neon electric colors, like, yeah, sign me all the way up for that cap.
So I like the hat. I don't think I would buy it, just because I like if you just go black with like the white mountain on it. I've seen those and I like those a lot. But it's funny you say that it looks like an NBA jersey, because I was texting with our buddy Jason today, and he said this is his exact message to me, Brig. He said, "Am I the only one who thinks the Rocky City Connect looks like a Suns alt jersey?"
No, because that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. I was like, you are spot on, sir. It does. Yep. It looks like something the Suns wear. Do I like it? Yes, I'll give it a 6. Would I buy it? No, because there are other options that the Rockies have that I would prefer to buy instead.
Yeah, I would never buy this. I'm not going to disparage it. I don't think it's
However, the caveat with that, though, Brig, is that if I was playing in a Saturday adult softball league and I showed up and they said, "Here's our jersey," I would be pumped to wear it.
Yes.
To play
Right?
softball
So,
in it. Absolutely.
like, this is so much fun, and for the players, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to reserve my final judgment until I see it on the field.
Mhm.
But as it stands right now, I'm feeling a little curmudgeonly about it. Curmudgeonly.
It's funny
I don't love it.
So this is my last thing about this, and I think it kind of just is reiterating the things that I've been saying. Is that like there are things about it that are really fun that I like a lot, but it doesn't feel like a big league jersey, which I understand because they specifically said they wanted a pullover because everybody played Little League, right?
Yep.
But that's what it feels like. Aside from being a softball league jersey, it also feels like a Little League jersey or like a travel ball jersey.
Right.
Right? Because you get all those loud uniforms from the travel ball teams. All these kids designing these things, throwing stuff against the wall, whatever. Like that's what it feels like more than a big league jersey. And I think that's my big beef with it.
Yeah. Like this is a players weekend thing or a Little League Classic maybe or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. But we'll see what it looks like on the field. Maybe it'll look really good.
Which is cool. Like that's what they wanted. That's what they were going for. They completely nailed it. Like they crushed it. And they got all the elements.
I think you nailed it with once a week is great.
Yeah, once a week is plenty. Don't be going more than that. All right. So we're going to stay with the Rockies for a little bit because they cannot score runs. Okay? And maybe the greatest thing to come out of this season is this once a week situation with their uniforms because right now they are 3-12. It is April 14th as we record. Games have only barely begun for the day. Colorado currently is 3-12. It's the worst major league record in baseball history through 15 games.
Not in baseball history.
Oh, franchise history.
I checked last year's to see how they were on, if they were on pace with the White Sox, and the White Sox. I'm gonna double check. I believe had only won 2 games through 15 games last year. Yeah, so I'm gonna double check it real quick. It's gonna be so fast because I did this earlier today, so I know exactly how to do it. Yeah, and I can do it while I'm talking to you, Brig.
Filibustering.
So
love it.
Yeah. So through 15 games last year, the White Sox were 2-13.
Good enough. Well, it's certainly the worst in franchise history.
Absolutely, it's the worst this year too. They have the worst record in baseball right now.
Actually, in club history, I just looked it up. 2019, they also went 3-12 through the first 15. So it's it's tied for the first worst start to a season in franchise history. Back with 2019. It's not going to get any
better as they play the Dodgers tonight.
Well, I was just going to say that. So here we go. They have scored a total of 40 runs in 15 games. Now, think whatever you want about that, but I'm about to lay down some context, okay? The Cubs have scored a major league leading 116 runs in the first 15 games. So 40 to 116, yeah? The Braves are the next lowest. They've scored 49 runs. The Angels collectively have 30 home runs. Some were multiple RBI home runs or whatever, but let's just say they were all one-run homers. The Angels have almost as many one-run homers.
Solo homers.
So whatever. They get one run,
It's not the
Brad.
same, Brig. A one-run homer is not a thing.
It is now.
I will not let you try to get away with that. For your own sake.
Solo homers. Do you need this? Do you need it this bad?
I do. You need it, trust me.
Okay, listen, there are people who listen to our show who are new to baseball, and they need to understand that a solo... Huh?
I understand.
Okay. You get one run in a solo homer. Baseball family. Okay. So let's say the Angels, 30 home runs had been solo shots. Okay. That alone would put them at 10 runs away from all of Colorado's scoring history this season. Colorado's run differential is negative 44, and the Rockies have never been shut out 3 consecutive games ever until now. They did it against the Padres at Petco in San Diego this last weekend. And they went, okay, ready for this? They went 9 for 88 in San Diego at the plate. The Rockies did. Kyle Farmer was responsible for 5 of those 9. And he went 5 for 10. Everyone else is at 051 on their trip to San Diego. That's their batting average.
Insane.
Is 051
That's so bad.
In 3 games. They did record 2 hits on Sunday in San Diego, but two of the 9. And they're about to play the Dodgers, which you brought up. The Dodgers run differential currently is a 0. Did you know that?
No, but it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. They're 0. They are at negative 15 run differential in their last 3 games, but they're at +1 at home. So, it only takes 1 run to beat the Rockies. So you'll be all right.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room with the Dodgers, because the Dodgers got blown out by the Cubs 16-0.
Yeah.
And that
that was
I was checking
bad,
scores.
nasty,
I'm
bad.
sitting there watching a game. I think it was Saturday night because we were at a baseball game. I was checking scores and I scrolled down. I was like, oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Miguel Rojas gave up 5 of those in 2 innings of work as a position player pitching. But at the same time, though, like, everybody else giving up 11?
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's rough.
And I will say, though, pump the brakes, it's fine. They lost 3 series in a row. Who cares? We said at one point they were going to go 2-8 in the season, in a stretch in the season. It doesn't matter. It's fine. But it's still wild.
It happens. It is wild to watch, though. And can we just mention that Miguel Rojas went out there as a position player pitching and decided he was going to imitate his teammates on the pitching staff and their wind-up and delivery? Well, less their delivery, but mostly their wind-up. He was tossing Eephus pitches
not at
out
all
there.
their delivery.
Yeah.
he wasn't stepping more than 3 feet from the rubber when he was throwing. I was watching Foul Territory today. They were talking to Tyler Glasnow. They're like, why didn't he do you? He's like, I don't think you can. He's like, I used to do that thing with my glove, but I don't do that anymore. And he's like, so I think that really what you have to do is like really like stretch down the mound, but I don't think he wants to do that. So he's like, I guess he could just do nothing. Imitate me.
Just stand there. Tyler Glasnow doesn't just do nothing, by the way, if you've ever seen him pitch. He is huge, though, and he gets a long way down that mound.
He's like 6'8", man.
It's crazy.
Anyway.
It's crazy. All right, so how about them Friars, right? Because that's how bad Colorado fared. But let's talk about how well the Padres did in that series. They're
and have been.
They're the first, huh?
And just have been in general.
Exactly. But specifically in that series against Colorado, they're the first team to hold their opponent scoreless since 2017. Cleveland did it. That's over a 3-game series. First team to hold an opponent scoreless over a 3-game series since Cleveland did it, and I think they did it against Kansas City, and that was in 2017.
I'm going to check it.
San Diego is now 10-0 at home, and they're 3 for 13 as of Monday afternoon. As of 7 p.m. Monday. They're now second in Major League Baseball history to have 6 shutouts in the first 16 games of the season. They've all been at home. That ties the 1966 Cleveland Indians. And also, they are number 2 in pitching with a 2.68 ERA. And their bullpen is sporting a 1.51 ERA, which is number 1 in Major League Baseball for relief pitchers. Right now, they're also holding opponents to a collective 0.283 average. Their opponents are 238 at the plate, Brad. I said it that way to piss you off, but you're totally distracted.
I was so distracted. That was like legitimately the only thing that I didn't hear you say in the last little bit.
Their opponents are batting a 0.283. We got a 283 average against them, which is great. It seemed a little high for me for them to be number one in Major League Baseball for opponents at the plate, but they have 6.44 strikeouts per game. That is number one across baseball. So the numbers don't always have to number.
2017, that is true. Cleveland shut out Kansas City 4-0, 4-0, 12-0, August 25th through the 27th.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So what do you think about these Friars, Brad? Where are you at with them?
I like them. I think it makes sense. I know we were down on them at the beginning of the season because we were just like, well, what are you going to get? But at the same time, it's like, I think we talked about this after the first weekend. We're like, well, no, hold on. Pump the brakes on this. They still have, like, everybody. The only guy they don't have is Juan Soto, who they didn't have last year. They don't have Jurickson Profar, but it turns out they wouldn't have had him anyway. So, really...
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Like, I think that they're basically the same team that they were last year. It was really good and was, when it comes down to it, the only roadblock for the Dodgers winning the World Series. And they kind of got in their own way. They kind of lost that series instead of the Dodgers beating them. And I know Dodgers fans are not going to be happy about that because the Dodgers bullpen is what shut them down. But it almost got to the point where it's like the Padres got in their own way somehow and kept themselves from winning that series. So they're legitimate contenders in the NL West.
They had 350,000 scoreless innings against the Padres that series.
At least there might have been more.
Don't
forget. There could have been more if they had to play more, too, Brig, if it comes down to it.
Yeah, 4 million. So. It could have been 4 million scoreless innings.
It could have been. But, no, I think they're a legitimate team. The NL West is so tight this year. The only team that's not going to be contending there is obviously going to be the Rockies because they're going to be so bad.
Bro.
But it's like I saw something that said that the Marlins are more likely to win the NL East than the Padres are to win the NL West, odds wise, because of the Dodgers.
Whoa, that's wild.
Yeah, and not only the Dodgers, but you've got the Giants, you've got the Diamondbacks.
I saw the Giants play in horrendous weather in the Bronx this weekend. They look pretty good, man.
I watched them sweep the Mariners. They walked off 2 out of 3. They're a good team. Their situational hitting is great.
That's the thing. And their pitching just plain holds up. Like it just it's not spectacular, but it holds up and it understands. It's like the whole club, the whole pitching staff, starters and relievers, it's like they understand, like you said, the situations, man. They're just like, all right, just don't hang one. It's almost like they're adaptable.
They've got Justin Verlander and Robbie Ray and Logan Webb. Like they've
Logan
got
Webb,
good pitching. They've
Logan
got good
Webb.
pitching.
That dude is for real. I keep forgetting about Logan Webb. I don't know how, but that dude is just unbelievable. He's sneaky good. All right,
it's a tough division.
Couple things. 2 last things we're going to talk about. First is Mike Trout. In a game against Houston, fly ball heads toward right field, starts to sneak out, and just makes it over the right field wall into foul territory, into the seats. That's important. Trout goes up. Ball comes down. Falls into Trout's glove. Fan reaches in. Well, the fan touched the ball first. Then it fell into his glove. Fan reaches into his glove and grabs it. Pulls it right out of Trout's glove. Now, his immediate reaction is important, and we'll get into that, because he was like, oh, no. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm so sorry. To his credit, I think he realized what was happening, and in the moment with the adrenaline, I wasn't there. It wasn't me. Who knows? But it is plausible that he sort of wasn't thinking as clearly. Okay? Plus, the ball was basically in his lap.
Well, I think you go ahead with the quote because I think that's really insightful as to like why he did what he did. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the play was ruled, by the way, a foul ball, no interference. The fan's name is Jared Whalen, and he was immediately escorted out of the section. And here's the quote Whalen told The Athletic. He said, "I just didn't know what was going on. I didn't realize it was a play. It was coming at my son's face. I just reached out." He then goes on to say, "I was more looking at the ball coming at my son's face. I made sure I wasn't in the field of play. I apologized, and Trout nodded his head, and we're good, I think." Trout's reaction in the moment was not happy.
Well,
and rightly so.
No, you're not going to be okay. Because the other thing is, too, if you look at that replay, that he came down, his glove is still up on the wall, being held there. He had to jump up to try to get to it. And I'm sure that's a scary feeling.
Well, he already broke a wrist bone already, his hamate bone once already. He doesn't need another injury.
After seeing what happened to Mookie Betts during the World Series, that would be a scary feeling. Like, I don't care who you are, I'm going to get mad.
Same.
No matter what in that situation.
Same.
Absolutely. And trying to make a play, because this is the thing, is Yanier Diaz on the very next pitch popped out. And like Trout said, it ended up having no effect on the game. But what do you do if instead Diaz hits a home run on the next pitch? Because on that play, the Angels had a 2-0 lead against a division rival.
Right.
So
big deal.
I can see why Trout would be very upset in the situation. Like, I do not fault him at all. And I'm sure this guy, what was his name? Whalen?
Jared Whalen.
I'm sure afterwards talking to him was like, I totally understand. Like, you had every right in the world to be pissed off at me. I was trying to protect my kid. And Trout even said afterwards, he's like, I got kids myself. The way he reacted, he obviously didn't do it on purpose. Well, I don't know if he didn't do it on purpose, but just the way he reacted and his kid, and they got moved, they probably spent hard-earned money on those tickets. Like, the fact he's like, I understand, like, trying to protect your kid, I totally understand that too.
Yeah.
Like, I tell, like, my son sometimes, he's like, Dad, I want to catch one. I was like, how about you catch it from the players when they toss it in the stands? I'll be the one to catch a foul ball.
Yeah, if anybody's going to get hit with a ball. I don't know if we're
there yet.
Yeah. Yeah. So in the video, there's video of Trout interacting with Jared Whalen and his son. And in the video, you can hear Trout say, look, man, basically, I'm going to paraphrase, but he says, look, the way you reacted, where you immediately apologized, and I could tell that there was nothing malicious. Again, paraphrasing. Trout said that made all the difference. And if it hadn't been for that, probably would have continued to feel differently about it. Not like in the Mookie Betts situation at Yankee Stadium in the World Series, where that was about as deliberate as it gets, if not straight to malicious, right? It was 100% malintent. This was not that at all. And that is a really important distinction, and Trout, he gets it. So,
well, and real quick, the reason that this was not fan interference and the one in the World Series was because Mookie Betts caught the ball first and then went into the stands. Yeah. Well, his arm went into the stands. The ball hit the fan's hand in the stands.
Yep.
In the boundary of the stands before it went into Trout's glove.
Yep.
Which is the fans' domain, which I understand. Like, the guys at Yankee Stadium have been saying, like, they come on, their one comes over here, I'm playing defense. Like, I get it. You have every right to play defense as long as you're on your side of the wall. That's fine.
Right.
But when Mookie Betts catches the ball and crashes into the fence, and then you try to take the ball out of his glove, there's a line there.
Yeah, they were trying to take his glove off.
These are apples and oranges, in my opinion.
They are.
Between the two. And both umpires got it right. And Major League Baseball got it right to ban the other guys. And I think that they got it right to move these two. Because if something bad had happened, then the fans around them could have turned on them.
Yeah, you don't know. Exactly.
Right. So it's really great on the Astros, all their people, to move them out of the situation. So I think everybody got it right in this situation. I think it's awesome. I love
agree.
that Trout talked to him after.
I do too. And Trout signed the ball, and I think he gave the kid a bat.
Yeah.
And the Angels won the game 4-1. And to Trout's point, it didn't have any impact on the game. And I think that's fabulous. Now, Mike Trout's stats so far this season, his team is doing really well. But he, 56 at-bats, 9 runs, 11 hits, 6 home runs, which is like an 18-way tie right now for first place or something crazy. It's not 18, but it's a lot. He's batting 196, 299, 536. He has an 834 OBP and a 137 OPS plus. So he is not off to a great start on the season. But he's healthy, he's active, he's playing every day, and his team is doing really well. And the way we've said it is when Mike Trout is on the field, the Angels play ball. When he is not,
he just has to be there. Yeah.
It's nuts. But it's
maybe
working.
we start calling it the Mike Trout effect.
Right. Right. Okay, last thing really quick, and then we're going to get out of here. We've run a little long.
Go as long as he's on the field. Sorry, go ahead, Judge.
Yeah. No. We're running a little long. So last thing, Aaron Judge has been named Team USA captain for the World Baseball Classic. MLB's Thomas Harrigan quoted Mark DeRosa, who's named the manager of Team USA, said he reached out to Mike Trout, who was captain of the team in 2023. He reached out to Mike Trout, letting him know who he was planning to name as captain, and it would be Judge for the 26 Classic. According to DeRosa, Trout's answer simply was, he should be. And that's classy. That's so classy. Talk about a guy who's a class act constantly. It's Mike Trout.
Yeah.
Now, Judge did not participate in the 2023 WBC because of this free agency and the tour he went on and the frenzy and all the visiting, everything, and it was crazy. So he is excited, needless to say, to participate this season. And I'm excited about this decision. I think it's good for everybody. I don't think anybody loses in this case. And I'm pumped that he's going to be participating. So right now, really quick, we have the following coaching staff solidified for Team USA in the WBC. We are waiting now for the remainder of the roster to begin filling out. We'll get you updates as it comes down. But the manager is Mark DeRosa. Skip Schumacher is going to be the bench coach. Pitching coach Andy Pettit. Hitting coach Matt Holliday.
I just hope that he teaches them to remember to touch home plate.
There you go. I paused.
That's all.
George Lombard, who's the Tigers bench coach, will be the first base coach. And then Dino Abel, who's the Dodgers third base coach, will be the third base coach for WBC Team USA. David Ross is going to be the bullpen coach. I thought that was pretty cool. And then assistant managers will be Freddie Gonzalez, Brian McCann, Michael Young. And one of these days, Brad, I'm going to have you tell me who you want on, who your ideal Team USA roster is. We're going to have to do that one of these days soon.
Yep.
And we'll get there. So
fantastic. I'm excited. I love that we're already talking WBC because I can't wait. Cannot wait for it to start and to get here.
I can't wait.
It's going to be so fun.
Yeah, it's going to be
It's
great.
going to be such a blast.
Baseball family, we thank you for joining us. We will be here Thursday night live, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll also drop an episode on Sunday, and then everything we do is available on the socials, particularly on YouTube. So jump in there, like,
little
subscribe,
teaser for
rate,
Sunday,
review.
real quick, Brig. Little teaser for Sunday. This episode, we're playing a game called This Guy Looks Like.
Yeah,
So,
This Guy Looks Like, which is a
come
game
check
we
it out.
really enjoy playing. So jump in and be excited with us. This Guy Looks Like. With that, baseball family, we thank you for being here again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review the show anywhere you can, and we will catch you Thursday night live.